right, looks like we are live. What's up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. It's just me today because we just got 3 games. I've got Nolan Kelly's article up on your screen right now so you can see any line changes that have happened since like last night or the last couple days that are notable. Actually, this is from yesterday. Let me pull up the one from today. Anyways, there wasn't a ton that you need to take note of, but there's still a few things that we should be on the lookout for. So I'm just going to kind of go over this quick while people come in, and once we get our normal crowd in, then we'll start going through the games, maybe go through Fantasy Cruncher. And actually, now that I mentioned Fantasy Cruncher, Nolan and I, on Friday, we were thinking of doing kind of a NHL DFS for beginners show, and like talk about Fantasy Cruncher, especially, and like the tools that we have at Osmo.com. And speaking of tools at Osmo.com, we're hopefully going to try to get ownership at some point. I think that would be very helpful, especially for the higher stakes stuff. Single entry guys would probably really appreciate that. I know I would really like that. Ownership's really important in every sport, especially the high variance ones. But anyways, what would you guys want to see as far as Fantasy Cruncher if we do indeed do this show on Friday? And kind of like, what do you like? We were talking about how we were going to maybe research and what sites we use, what stats maybe we think are important, what stats aren't important, and stuff like that. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to put them in chat, or you can hit me up on Twitter, you can DM me, whatever you want. But yeah, we're just kind of seeing if people would be interested in that. I think the slate is pretty short on Friday, so I think it would be a good time to do kind of a separate stream talking about Fantasy Cruncher and like different things we use and like groups and different advanced settings and stuff, and then just do like our normal show after that. So let me know if that sounds interesting. As far as tonight goes, yeah, Nemeth, you got to look for Nemeth in your punt D. Actually, surprisingly, there are quite a few better punts than Nemeth. I know it's hard to believe tonight, but there's one in particular playing for the Blackhawks, mid-salary, Yoki. But yeah, probably no Nemeth for me. Is he even on the roster right now? I don't even know. What's up, Gary? Hey, nice job last night. DM me saying that you were close to taking it down. You'll get there. I mean, I think he faded a little bit at the end, but awesome job, awesome lineup. I know. I think he took down the 33 max, so that was awesome. Almost hit the FanDuel. Nice. Yeah, it's a good night. I heard a lot of people had really good nights last night, so that was good to see. I had a profitable night. It wasn't. Nemeth is the block wall. Yeah. I mean, when he plays, sure. Nemeth sucks, though. I always play him when he's like mid-salary, though. Winnipeg 1, Tampa Bay 2, 2-man with Donskoy. Yeah, Winnipeg 1, they were kind of what you needed. They're just nuts, man. And Colorado did what Colorado normally does. They commit a bunch of penalties. So it was good. Yeah, you could fit in Winnipeg 1 with both Tampa 2, I think Pittsburgh 1, and a few other like really good lines if you double punted on D, or punted one of your forward spots, left one of the other forwards out. So it wasn't too difficult. I took down the late slate quarter arcade. Evander Kane has been just lights out. Yeah, he just gets in these modes where like every time he touches the puck, it's going on net or near the net. Like he's just constantly trying to throw the puck at the net. And maybe not the best quality shots, but for DFS, it's just gold, especially when he's like under 6K. So, yeah, Evander's having quite the stretch here. Calgary smash Tonight, ooh, we'll see. They're going to be chalk, I would think. But still doesn't mean they can't smash. I mean, Winnipeg 1 was pretty chalky last night, and they did okay. They're chalk for a reason, right? All right, so we've got this. Should definitely take note of this. Forsberg on Nashville 1. Ricard Raquel. That is also big news. And then take note of his line mates. You'll see this when we kind of go through each game and talk about, you know, who's in play, who's not really in play. It's a 3-game slate, so there's not a lot of guys that aren't in play, but like who have kind of my favorite lines, who are lines that I want to be over the field on and such. So this article is really important. Matt Duchene out. I can't remember if he's having a kid or what, but anyways, Pajot is back. He's a pretty popular guy in the DFS industry. I think he had a pretty decent game in his first one back. Only played like 13 or 14 minutes, but I would expect his minutes to go up at some point. Yeah, never heard of this guy before, but I guess he's skating with Ottawa's second line, so whatever. It's really only one Ottawa line for me tonight. Maybe the Pajot line, but I think you guys know which line I'm going to be on for Ottawa. Yeah, Seabrook. This one could change a few things. You could maybe even see Yoki exactly on the second power play if he can't go. And then this fellow is also a scratch. 230.5 on FanDuel last night. Yeah, I did not do well on FanDuel. I can't get it right on FanDuel. I did really well. Well, not really well. I did pretty well on DraftKings, so made up for all the losses on FanDuel plus a little bit more. So I was happy with that. Monahan, Johnny with Kachuk. Yep, that's going to be a way to somewhat differentiate, but I don't think that's going to be all that sneaky. It's a 3-game slate. It's hard to get sneaky anyways. So, all right, where are we at here? That is Fantasy Cruncher. This is the lineup builder. And I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but I try to mention it at least once or twice every show. Promo code Hit the Ice that you see right on your screen there. That will get you access to a free week-long trial at Osmo.com NHL Premium. With that, you can also, if you choose to, you can get Fantasy Cruncher for free for a week. So the Osmo.com version of Fantasy Cruncher, it's the exact same thing. It basically just has the Osmo logo on the top, and then it's just embedded in our site. So it's Fantasy Cruncher, and you can upload my projections. You can try those out. You can figure out a way to upload Osmo's rankings, and then all the other premium articles, the power plays, the cheat sheets, all that good stuff. I can't play Anaheim 3. They're terrible offensively. We'll get to them. Let's go through these quick. Oh, wait, lowest owned stack. Lowest owned team. Lowest owned team, probably total ownership, I would say probably Colorado. Like, Colorado 1's going to be owned. They're going to be double digits for sure, but then I don't think many people are going to be on the second and third lines for them. Whereas basically every other team, like, I think people will be on Chicago's top 2 lines. I think people will be on Nashville's top 2 lines. Definitely Nashville's top 2 lines. Of course, the Flames' top 2. Ducks, they've got 3 lines in play, I think. And then the Whitestone Kachuk line for Ottawa is going to have some ownership. I don't know about any of the other Ottawa lines. So it's got to be Ottawa or Colorado if we're just talking about aggregate ownership. All right, Nashville and Chicago. 3.4 implied total for the Predators. 2.6 for the Blackhawks. Pekka Rinne going up against Colin Delia. Is it going to be Rinne? Nashville's not on a back-to-back, man. Once again, all these days just continue to run together. Nashville did not play last night, did they? Someone remind me. You guys are on a little bit of a delay. Sub 3% on all Ottawa players not on first line. Yeah, maybe. 3 to 4 on FanDuel. 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 Like, there will be some people on Ottawa's second and third lines. They didn't play last night. Okay, thanks, Josh. It's going to be Pekka, yeah. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think Ottawa's second and third lines you have to worry about ownership at all. Okay. Rene, Delia, Forsberg back on the top line with Johansson and Arvidsson. Yeah, Nashville does have a little bit of a shutout streak going here. We finally got a center on this second line on DK for Nashville. So Sissons is going to center Fiala and Smith. I know they had a pretty decent game last time out. Both the top Nashville lines, the top two, are going to get really, really good matchups. The Strome line is terrible defensively. The Tays line is very bad defensively as well. I would expect the matchups to go Tays versus Johansson, Forsberg, Arvidsson. That's usually what the Blackhawks do on home ice. And I actually really like both sides of that. So I like Johansson, Arvidsson, Forsberg. Wrote them up early. If you're not getting to Calgary 1 or Colorado 1, I think that what I wrote in the article was that they're pretty good consolation. So as far as projections go, they're quite a bit lower than both of those teams, but they're also quite a bit cheaper with Johansson at only $4,800. I think fair prices on both Arvidsson and maybe even an underprice on Philip Forsberg there on DK. Chicago, they've got decent results. Like their last 10, I know they're winning games. I've watched a lot of their games. They shouldn't be winning a lot of these games. They're giving up a ton of very quality chances. They're getting bailed out by some good goaltending, oddly enough, and just kind of some weird games they're playing in. So don't be fooled by this Blackhawks little flurry they have going here, mid-season flurry. They should come down to earth at some point, and Nashville's just a much, much better team here. So that being said, it is DFS, so there are viable plays in the Blackhawks. I prefer the Tays Saad Cahoon line. I really like the value there. Cahoon at only 2,800 A value on Osmos grades. I actually don't mind that at all as a punt, and that line is just super, super cheap. I think the Kane, Strome, and Nisimov line is going to get most of the attention on Chicago. I mean, Kane usually attracts quite a bit of attention, and it's understandable. I mean, they're both, Strome and Kane are both on the top power play. So that's fine. I'm going to have less exposure to the Strome line than the Tays line, but not going to leave them out or anything crazy like that, especially if I'm going 50 to 100 lineups tonight. I actually haven't even registered yet tonight, so I should probably do that. Are any contests filling on DK? Do you guys know? I doubt they're filling. I could probably check that, but we'll do that in just a second. DeBrincat, I think, is a fine one-off for 5,600. Really wish they had him skating with Kane and Strome. That would be a line I'd be really interested in, but he's going to be low owned just because he is on that third line. Okay, 50% full. Yeah. I'll probably look at them after we're done going through these games quick. The Sissons, Fiala, Smith line, they're going to be a popular filler. They're going to fit with Calgary and Colorado. That being said, I'm much, much more interested in the top line here. They're okay as a filler, but like on the last crunch, I think I'm going to be underweight on them. I've got about 10%, it's looking like, and I'm expecting them to be mid-teens. They're going to be one of the most popular filler lines, I would think, just because they're so cheap. But I'm looking at some other places, and probably some surprising places based on what where I'm usually at. So defenseman here, who should be good to go? Oh, Raquel. Yeah, maybe some people get off of him because of the DL designation, like you said, Matt. So he's supposed to play. I mean, something weird would have to happen in warmups for him to not play, it sounds like. All right. Yossi, one of my favorite plays on the night. He's going to be one of everyone's favorite plays. Blackhawks have a terrible penalty kill. They don't actually commit all that many penalties, but Yossi's just such a great floor, and he's 5,800. You can make a case for him or Giordano as the top defender on the night. I think for me, it's Giordano. We saw how many penalties Colorado can commit night to night, back to back there. So I would give the slight edge to Giordano, but if you prefer Yossi, just go heavier on Yossi, and you're going to be a little bit different. Or for that matter, play Ellis for 4,900, who is A value, 8 points grade. Also an awesome play there. Keep an eye out for Seabrook. Mentioned him off the top. Make sure he's in warm-ups if you're looking to play him. If not, you can go down to Jokiharju. Jokiharju, I think is how you pronounce it. The J is pronounced like a Y, if I remember correctly. Anyways, he is min salary. Could possibly be getting power play time if no Seabrook. Not that you need a ton of power play time from a $2,500 defenseman, but if he is indeed skating with Keith, he's in line for 20-plus minutes, and that's a pretty good way to go. If you're looking for salary relief, he's going to be someone that people just slot in with Calgary 1 if they want to go Calgary 1 and a super cheap line plus Giordano or something like that. But I think that is one of the right plays if you're punting on D. Other guys on D for Chicago, Gustafsson, hard not to look at him, just playing power play 1. It's not the greatest power play matchup for the Blackhawks. If you look at Nashville's penalty kill, let's see where they're ranked as of now. They are, top 10, 82%, very good. They don't commit a ton of penalties. The Blackhawks power play is, very, very low, 16.3%. So nothing's really changed since the last time I've looked at this. Nashville should have the advantage at both even strength and the power play. I mean, Nashville's numbers on the power play are not good either, but getting Forsberg back, it's obviously going to help. And there's really no reason they shouldn't have a good power play here. So would expect that to turn around at some point here. Goalies, Rene probably a cash option if he goes. I don't play much cash, so maybe that's a fish take, but that'd probably be the guy I would lock in. I think he's got the best chance at a win tonight. Him or maybe Gibson, I don't know, but it's really close. All right, Avs and the Flames, 3 implied total for Colorado, 3.6 for the Flames. Varlamov, I believe, is going to go. We don't know just yet. Grubauer started last night, gave up a bunch of goals. Hard to blame him because he was basically on the penalty kill, playing 4-on-5 for most of the game. And the Avs have a really bad kill, and the Jets have a really good power play. So not really Grubauer's fault, but if it is Varlamov tonight, he is the type of goalie that can stand on his head. It's a back-to-back. The Avs goalie is going to get absolutely peppered. So if they can somehow pull out a win here, that's very likely going to be your highest scoring goalie. Like 35, 40 shots he should see, whoever it is for Colorado. So if it is Varlamov, you shouldn't be Xing him out of your pool or anything if you are MMEing, just because there's a big goal total against him. So lines in this game, we've got Frolik with Backlund and Tkachuk. Was talking to Corsi earlier today, and he was saying that if Frolik was up with Backlund and Tkachuk, then that's a pretty good indication that Backlund, Tkachuk, and Frolik is going to hard match the McKinnon line, which looks like it's going to be the case. Frolik skated with them this morning, and I'm basically playing it like Backlund, Tkachuk, Frolik are going to play a ton of minutes tonight. They are going to be stuck on McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog like glue. So a couple things. Not a great matchup for McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog. However, the Backlund line hasn't been the same sort of shutdown this year as far as limited chances. So it's not like you can't play them, especially with an elite line like Colorado won. Really interested to see their ownership in large field tournaments compared to what Calgary 1's going to be. I mean, everyone knows about Calgary 1 at this point. They're awesome. They've been arguably the best line over the last month or so. So you look at Calgary 2. I was trying to pull up the numbers here. 13.1 high danger chances against per 60, but shot suppression is good. They just have been a little bit leakier when it's been Tkachuk, Backlund, and Frolik. Last year that was like well below 10. This year a little bit worse, but they have dealt with some injuries. I still would expect them to be a very good shutdown line. All right. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog, super expensive. They are, I believe, they're more expensive than Calgary, but bad matchup. That being said, if they're going to be a third of the ownership of Calgary 1, and they won't be at high stakes, at lower stakes, I think it's possible. I think at higher stakes, it's going to be pretty spread around between a lot of these top lines. Like in the $8, which is what I'm going to be playing tonight, then it makes sense to take a little bit of a bigger stand and go overweight on Colorado 1. Let's see how Calgary 1 has done. Yeah, they've crept up into time shorthanded so far this season. They're up to 9th, tied for 9th on the season. They don't kill off penalties particularly well. Looking at what they did in December, Calgary committed the 7th most, or they were the 7th most time shorthanded. Penalty kill was pretty good. But I mean, it's really hard to just ignore Colorado 1 here. Even if I had limited lineups, like if I had 3 lineups, but if I was playing a 3 max, I would have at least one Colorado 1 tonight, because I think people are just going to play the home team, play the team with the huge total tonight, and that's certainly understandable. And with that, you've got another home team in a really good matchup with a high total with low prices in Anaheim. So it's just, I think Calgary, Anaheim 2/Anaheim 3 is going to be really, really popular. And it's a very good play. But ownership-wise, I think it makes sense to shift some exposure to Colorado 1. It looks like a massively inflated Vegas line that could take more ownership off of Colorado. Yeah. So I'm expecting the Avs to be like, the Avs 1 in the $8 to be like 14-15%, something like that. And let me know, guys, if you think that that's completely off. Like if you're seeing other stuff, if you're seeing them being touted elsewhere, or like you're in different chats. So let me know if I'm way off on that. If they're going to be 25, then it's a little bit of a different story. But like I think Calgary 1 comes in at like nearly 40%, maybe in the $8, which is crazy. So a little bit of recency bias there. It is still a great matchup. Colorado is on a back-to-back. I don't know how they'll bounce back. I'm not going to act like I know exactly how Colorado's going to play. But I think Calgary is a better team. It is an awesome matchup for Calgary 1, of course, and 2 for that matter. You've got Tkachuk, Backlund, and Frolik. Tkachuk on the top power play. He would be the guy I'd most want to one-off in this game. But that being said, like look, 12% McKinnon in the 8. If it's 12, then I should really be shifting quite a bit of McKinnon exposure. I'm trying to get over 20%. Like I'm trying to double the field on Colorado 1 if they're going to be 10-12%. Like I'd gladly take that stand, because I don't think I don't think Calgary 1 outscores Colorado 1 2 out of 3 times here, or whatever it would be. So if they're going to be 3 times the ownership, that's ridiculous. Some reporter says Varley in for sure. Okay, good. So this is everyone's favorite game to target. I think 2 amazing lines. A perceived bad matchup for Colorado 1, but like we mentioned, Backlund line has been a little bit leakier than we're used to seeing them in past years. If you're going to a secondary line in this game, it would be Calgary 2 for me, because they're going to see a ton of ice time in that hard match against McKinnon, Landeskog, and Rantanen. And then Giordano, no matter whether I'm playing Calgary 1 or not, Giordano is going to make his way into a ton of my lineups tonight. He's going to be my highest owned defenseman. You could play him naked, as they say. You could play him in a mini with Kachuk. You can just, I think he's the best defenseman on the slate tonight. Calgary 3? Is this real? Jankowski is on the power play and Backlund isn't? Or are we missing something there? I don't see why that would be the case, but Jankowski, Neal, and who is it? Bennett? Let's see. What have they done? I didn't really look at them all that much. They've got really good numbers, shot attempts wise. Like, they're generating quite a bit. Sure, if you're Josh stacking or whatever, if you're just going all in on Calgary, then you can't do the top two lines together. You can't do the 6-man forward stack. I've tried that, but maybe that would be the line you Josh stack with if you want to do something like that. Super low prices, and if you're getting power play time on two guys, even though it is the second unit, Colorado commits so many penalties. Game stack Colorado 1, Calgary 3. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, I wouldn't intentionally game stack. I never do, but those two lines fit together pretty nicely. Not really on Kerfoot, Jost, and Comfer. Rarely get to them. If I do get to them, it would... I'm sorry. Josh stacking. That's a 5 or usually 6-man stack with the goalie included. So it's like the onslaught. So you're just basically saying this team is going to score 4 or 5 or 6 goals, and multiple lines are going to get it done. So it's just a way to differentiate a little bit, because people only like to use 3 or 4 players from the same team. Short slates, it's definitely viable. I don't really get to Comfer, Kerfoot, and Yost, like I said. However, if you are going to a power play stack, Comfer is fine for 4,800, playing on the top power play with Colorado 1. Tyson Barrie, perfectly fine play. I'll end up with some of him as a correlation play in my Colorado 1 lineups, but not really going to get to him in a lot of one-off scenarios here. Eric Johnson was a guy that I was getting a little bit of, 3,700. I don't really like the Eric Johnson one-off, but he's one of those guys in this range that I'm just going to end up with a little bit, because I guess he's okay with the floor, plays a decent amount of minutes, and he does shoot it a little bit. Just not a very arousing play for 3,700. Other guys on the Flames, besides Giordano, and they're way, way down there after Giordano, maybe Hamonic or Hannafin, but it looks like neither of them have power play tags. I don't know if Calgary switched up everything this morning or yesterday in morning skate, but looks like they're not on the power play, which I don't know why you'd have Anderson and Brody on there, Brody especially, but those would be the two guys I would maybe get to in one-offs. Not going to talk about goalies tonight. I think I just made that choice. Ottawa and Anaheim here. We've got a 2.6 implied total for the Senators, 3.5 for the Ducks. Anders Nilsson going up against, supposed to be John Gibson. Of course, if it is not John Gibson, you can swap off. So just have Gibson in your player pool on Fantasy Cruncher, X out whoever the backup is behind him. I'm blanking right now. I want to say Ryan Miller, but I know he's hurt. But the guy's going to be lower priced. Same thing with Varlamov. Varlamov's more expensive than Grubauer, so play Varlamov in your pool and in your player pool, and then you can always do the swap on DK, and you can just global swap really easily, because they make global swap pretty much really difficult on DK. FanDuel does that a lot better. One of the few things they do a lot better than DK. All right. So in this game, Raquel is back with Getzlaf, as you would expect. The two mid-tier lines together, like Nashville 1 and Anaheim 1, would be a really different way to go, I think, for the most part. In higher stakes, that's going to It's not going to be sneaky at all. Like if you're playing the whatever it is, 150 or 333 tonight, that's not going to be a super sneaky way to go or anything. But at lower stakes, I think people are just going to gravitate to the big lines. And also, if you go to this Getzlaf line with another mid-tier line, whether it's on the other side with White or Nashville 1 or something like that, you can fit in 2 really, really good defensemen. Whereas if you're going to Colorado 1 or Calgary 1, you can only fit in maybe none, but at the most 1 of like the Yossi's, the Giordano's, the Tyson Berry's, the even Fowler for that matter. So if the defensemen have big games, that's usually what decides it anyways on the 3-game slates. Sprong probably has the highest differential of ownership from low stakes to high stakes tonight. Yeah. I mean, at high stakes, everybody stacks. So, not everybody, but for the most part, people stack full lines. So, yeah, Sprong's going to be lower owned in the $8. So, you might see Getzlaf and Raquel at like 18, 20%, but Sprong might be 11 or 9%. So, don't think of it as a 20% owned stack. Yeah, it sucks when the two guys that are super chalky do all the scoring and stuff, and your guy, the third fiddle, kind of gets left off of it when you even strength stack. But like if Sprong gets a goal, that's huge, even for the people that played Getzlaf and Raquel, even if they get the assists. It's just such a leg up, even strength stacking, in my opinion. So play Sprong. He's got some offensive upside. He's 3,200. He is getting power play time. A value in Osmo's grades. Really like Getzlaf, Raquel. Really like the Ducks. I like anyone going up against Ottawa. I've got a 4-person contest. What's the strategy? Score the most points. I mean, you could go a little bit. Is it winner take all? I'm assuming it's winner take all. I don't think you have to go like 4-3-1. You could still double stack if you wanted, but I'd probably play some sort of hybrid GPP cash lineup. So maybe instead of a 4-3-1 or a 3-3, play a 3-3-2 or something like that. Still correlate. Yes, I would still correlate for sure. But like mini stacks become more viable, like Kachuk, Giordano, something like that. Don't 6-man stack. I don't think you need to do anything crazy like that. But don't change a ton of stuff just because it's a 4-person tournament. Still have to beat 3 other probably very good guys if it's testosterone in that. That was my boy Sabatka last night. Tage Thompson went nuts. So yeah, Corsi was on Tage Thompson. He had a pretty good night too. All right. So I am the biggest Ryan Kessler hater in the world. I will say, looking at what the Ducks lines, how this Ducks line has been, it's now listed as the second line. I really consider it the third line. Kasha is the second line for me, but regardless, Kessler line has been a little bit better. They've generated quite a few more chances. They've gotten a bunch of high danger chances, like if you look at their last 5, 6, 7 games. So that is encouraging. It maybe is a little bit of a reach even on this slate, but I think they're going to be really. Let me rephrase this actually. I think Silverberg and Kessler are going to be somewhat owned. Like, I don't think double digits, but I think they might be 7-8%, something like that. Whereas I think Cogliano is going to be like 3% because he doesn't really do all that much. He's mid-salary. So if you want to do something with Kessler and Silverberg, I kind of mentioned in the article, go with Kasha or go with Raquel as your third part of the stack. Get some power play correlation, maybe link up with the defenseman and go with the 4-man like that. So you don't have to play Cogliano. Cogliano by himself, I think, is a pretty brutal play, but in the context of a stack, if he allows you to get in that extra few $100s for a top defenseman, then by all means, go for it. Line matching here, I think we're going to see Kessler line go up against White, Stone, Kachuk. That line has been okay defensively. I think they're giving up like, I shouldn't say okay, they're a pretty good target actually. They're giving up like 12 high danger chances against per 60 if I remember correctly. I also like the White, Stone, Kachuk line. Interested to see their ownership as well. Just being on the road, low total, everyone on the Ducks, rightfully so. But this game could get out of hand both ways. It's not like the Ducks have a great defense. They're getting healthier. They get Cam Fowler back tonight, but still, I think you can attack the Ducks, especially with this Ottawa top line. It's too bad our boy Shabbat is not in, because then we could go pretty contrarian here and play Shabbat at a high price. So it's going to be Lajoie, maybe Dylan DeMello for 3,300 as a punt. Would expect him to see quite a few minutes tonight. And then if you're getting real deep, if the Kessler line isn't ugly, if the Kessler line isn't ugly enough for you, Henrique line obviously a solid play as well. Kasha I love for 6K, just shooting a ton. Not quite Evander Kane levels, but he's getting up there. Anyways, if the Kessler line isn't ugly enough for you, maybe Pajot, Zingle, and Bobby Ryan. That would probably be the other line I go to on Ottawa. You're not going to have to get much to get over the field on them, but they would be pretty... There'd be an okay fill-in. Pajot is fine. 3,500 for him. Hopefully he gets a bump in minutes if you are playing him. But it's not like this line is super cheap, right? So they're not going to get all that much attention. Like, you look at some of these other lines here, like even the Kessler line on the other side, they're cheaper. So people aren't going to be on this line at all. Wouldn't recommend doing it with limited lineups, but I don't know what's going on with my my mouse here. Let's see. All right, well, looks like my computer is just completely frozen. But we will continue to talk about this slate. If you guys got any questions or anything, I'm just going to try to wait out my computer here and see if I can unfreeze this, because otherwise I can't really get off stream. Oh yeah, so we've got our golf stuff out, by the way. If you guys are playing golf this weekend, go check out our golf content, ownership projections, Awesemos rankings, all that good stuff. NBA tonight as well. NBA as always. We've always got good NBA stuff out. So go check all that out. What else is there to talk about? What else? So what are your guys' final, what do you guys think the ownership is going to be on some of these top lines? Like Nashville one compared to Calgary one, compared to Colorado one, compared to Anaheim one. I always like seeing ownership on short slates, because like if you use the optimal lineup, everyone's going to end up on the same thing, and that's Calgary one. But like if you are using randomness in your projections or something like that, or just want to go a little bit different, maybe play a quote-unquote suboptimal play, then going with the lesser of the two plays is a lot of the time the better long-term strategy, because you're getting the ownership tax. Like, you're paying a big ownership tax on Calgary 1 tonight. Just insane amounts of Calgary for optimal. Yeah. Getzlaff 30, but Raquel and Sprong. I think it might be Raquel as the guy that anchors everyone's Anaheim 1 lineups, because he's only 5,400. And people love playing Raquel I mean, I love playing Raquel. He's awesome. Who do you think is the top one-off for Ottawa? Mark Stone, the highest priced player. So no hot take there, but yeah, Stone, maybe Kachuk. Those guys are very, very clearly my top 2 on Ottawa. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Do you have a Shabbat jersey? I do not. I do not have a Shabbat jersey. All right, try to control, I'll delete. Anyways. So I don't know what's going on here with my computer. But probably going to get out of here, just try to shut this thing down and see why my computer is just deciding to freeze. This has never happened on the stream. But must be just the universe telling me to stop talking about a 3-game slate. So that's what we're going to do. Hope you guys enjoyed this. You can hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in Premium Slack if you got any questions. I'd love to help you out. There's a big NBA slate, so I don't want to step on any toes anyways. Adam and Laffy are coming up, and then it's going to be, I believe, Chris and Fast Eddie Fear. So watch that stuff. We've also got a golf show tonight with Ben Raza. I'm not sure who exactly else is doing that, but you're going to want to tune into that if you're playing PGA. I'm playing PGA. So I will be degenning it. And yeah, good luck, guys. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully with some better computer access.